What's going on, y'all? And in today's episode of our Madden franchise, we're going to start out this game with the Dallas Cowboys versus the Eagles. And immediately, Jaden Daniels, Avils, and Drango kind of get this drive going, end up scoring because Drango is just that guy. So he ends up running out pretty much outside of the tackle box, and he's gone. And the second drive, he throws a beautiful laser to Avils. What a throw from Jaden Daniels. And he's going to try to run in for his own touchdown. And then Maffa is gonna run a nice 10-yard gain there, and try to break some tackles there. And Brian Thomas takes the top off of Cooper DeJean, ends up making this 21-0. So this is not a game that we really thought was gonna. This is not a game that we thought was gonna be a blowout. But I mean, 21-0, pretty much at halftime, is pretty impressive by this Cowboys offense. But as I say that, he gets intercepted at the goal line. They end up scoring right before the half. And I think the Eagles had the ball second, so they end up getting the ball at the halftime. They end up getting the score 21-7, but then 28-7 pretty much happens immediately, and then 28-14 returning that touchdown from Brian Thomas. So now 2-score game with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game. 4th and 8, Jaden Daniels is going to try to roll out, but he gets immediate pressure, and he gets hit for a sack fumble. So that brings the score 28-21. So all of a sudden it's a close game, and Jaden Daniels getting more pressure. The Cowboys do the right thing. They end up punting in the ball, but they end up scoring anyway. So 29-28. Here we go with Jaden Daniels having to make a game-saving drive that initially we thought was just going to be an afterthought, because 21-0 at halftime, we thought this game was over. But nonetheless, on 2nd and 10, Kyle Pitts gets hit on the drag route. He gets out of bounds, and so does Brian Thomas after breaking a tackle. Drango is going to take this all the way inside, so that's insane. I mean, you're just going to go all the way out to the left side and just pretty much burn everybody out there, and that's going to be the icing on the cake, winning their game, going to 4-2 over the Philadelphia Eagles. So what a game by Dallas. Almost sold, but they end up pulling the game in their grasp once again. And now we're gonna have 3rd and 7 for Green Bay Packers against the Lions. And in the media, we heard that the Lions and the Packers were looking forward to this game this season, and you could definitely tell there's a lot of physicality going on. And 0-10 start for Green Bay, but we're gonna see if Green Bay can kind of pick some speed up. With the trade from Trey Lance to get a high-tier offensive lineman, obviously it's helped, but having Trey Lance as a quarterback shouldn't really. I mean, you're gonna see what the difference is from Trey Lance to Jordan Love, and the missed throws that Jordan Love has had aren't as apparent as Trey Lance. But a nice throw, a nice catch from Braden Walters ends up saving that drive, and they end up scoring on that. But nonetheless, though, they're still going to lose to the Lions. It wasn't really an impressive game from them. It was pretty bad. But, nonetheless, they're still adjusting with that quarterback, and I think that they're going to be fine in the seasons to come, especially because they're going to have there's been draft talks about having Jaleel Varga from South Dakota going to the Packers, so we're going to see if that is the case. But nonetheless, to start this game out with the Texans, Stephen making a nice impression here in this early part of the game, getting 2 tackles back to back, and he levels someone, but they end up catching it anyway. John Mechie getting a nice reception wide open, and Norton almost getting the head top, but he couldn't get it, so Roman Wilson gets the first down. And a wide open Jalen Warren gets the first points of the Steelers on the board. And Nick Emawari lives in the backfield, and so does Nick Sorton, man. Nick Sorton has been such an underrated player, man. I mean, when I picked him up, I thought he was just going to be a role player, but he's ending up being the most violent in the pass game. And he's doing really good things in the run game as well. But him as a pass rusher, obviously he's an edge rusher, and I put him in the interior. So obviously he's going to have more of a pass rushing presence, but I didn't think it was going to be to this degree. I mean, having more sacks than Brian Burns currently is actually insane. We end up getting 14-10 after Darnell gets a nice catch on a flat route, And even Brian Burns is in coverage, making a PBU, and so does Sauce Gardner. So that gives us a chance to answer back with a touchdown of our own, but we couldn't get it done. Turnover on downs in our own red zone. Peyton Wilson laying the boomstick, and so does Brian Burns, forcing this 14-13 score. And Roman Wilson absolutely head tops oh damn, I forgot his name. I should know his name. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but obviously that's one of the top tier corners. I just, for some reason, I don't know why I was gonna say AJ Terrell, but that's not AJ Terrell. That's, damn, it'll come back to me. But nonetheless, that's a top tier corner, and we're gonna, what the heck? So I do remember that happening. I think it was just a little glitch or something that kind of killed my drive. And Stephen stuff in the box as he usually does. Peyton Wilson giving pressure, but Dalton Schultz gets it done, stepping up in the pocket for CJ Stroud, and he ends up scoring that touchdown. We try to throw it up to Darnell on 4th down, didn't work. Caleb Bransaw coming down, filling the gap, and it's 20-17, and now they get the score with Nico Collins. So the pressure is back on us. I mean, 17-27, and one of the biggest problems with our team has been the offense. I mean, our defense, yeah, we let up 30 points, but the defense essentially lives on the field because we never, we don't have a consistent conversion rate, on 3rd and 4th down, and that's pretty much what's killed us. But Jaylen Warren coming in for a second touchdown after a nice Texas route, and now all of a sudden after the defensive stop, it's 24-30, and Cole Norton making people miss, and for his 3rd time getting his hat trick, 31-30, we end up getting a stop, and Cole Norton on this with this wacky wildcat wide receiver run ends up getting us the win. So 38-30, huge win over the Houston Texans. I did not think we were gonna win that game at halftime. I thought it was over for us, but nonetheless, we end up getting the win through there. That's huge. I mean, 2-5, not the greatest start, but to beat the Houston Texans is pretty impressive for our team. So I look forward to what we can do after this. But Drake May gets stopped on the first drive, but so does the Jets. And then on 4th down, Drake May gets stopped again. So back-to-back stops, or essentially 3 stops in this game so far. No points on the board yet. But one of the craziest throws I've seen thus far, rolling left, throwing right to get Garrett Wilson a wide open touchdown, making this 7-0. And someone who's been like lighting up the league slowly has been Ben Becker. I think Ben Becker has been one of the most reliable targets, and that's crazy to say because he is a rookie. He's kind of reminding me of like a white Jamar Chase, essentially, because he's just, not because of the route running, but it's just because of the volume that he can continue to produce at a rookie level. I mean, he just entered the league and he's already looking like a seasoned veteran. I mean, it's actually insane. And look at that. I mean, wide open again, too. It's just Drake May couldn't hit him. But kind of concerning that we have 14-7, now 21-7 against the Jets. I did think Drake May was going to be a lot better, but he's really shown that his football arc kind of floats in the air, and it's kind of, a lot of interceptable balls, and it's not really what you want to see out of a quarterback. And all of a sudden it's 28-14. Drake May trying to do something here, and Ben Becker, and this is what I'm talking about. Ben Becker just bailing out Drake May. No offense to Drake May, but I mean, that was a nice throw from Drake May though. That was a dot. But I will say though, Ben Becker has been such an unguardable presence in the past game, and recently it's been really apparent, which it's pretty insane to have a rookie talked about in this fashion. But I mean, he's eligible to win Offensive Player of the Year if Drango doesn't get it. Drango obviously should have that respect as well, but then again, Drango was looked at to be a generational running back talent, so it's not like we are surprised by this. But are we surprised by Ben Becker's overwhelming presence? I believe we should be. I mean, it's pretty insane to see a receiver leading the league like this. You know, you don't really see it that often, especially with the such great receiver talent that we have currently. And to see Ben Becker to be just as good as them. I mean, look at this. I mean, back shoulder on a corner route, and you're just head topping your corner. It's kind of insane. I mean, yeah, it's the Jets, but we've seen him do this against other teams as well. And yeah, we're gonna have 35-35 though going into this fourth quarter, and immediate pressure sends this team to punt. And Antonio Gibson been a really good returner here, and as of late, as I'm saying this, he's gonna take this all the way to the house, making this 42-35. I was just saying how he's been a really good returner, and all of a sudden he wants to go all the way to return that punt. So now it's 42-35. We're looking for a touchdown out of the Jets, and we're gonna get it. So now it's all tied up. Drake May just has to get one drive to get the field goal, and the game is done. 22 seconds left, 3 timeouts, essentially a lifetime. So we're gonna see if he fucks this up. I don't think he will, and he doesn't. So we're gonna get into a nice field goal range, and he goes wide left. I don't know who the kicker is for the Pats, but he kind of needs to go and retire, man. So the Jets win the toss, and obviously they're gonna receive. So we're gonna see if they can do something off of this. I mean, their offense has been such a great efficient machine as of late. I mean, you've seen this whole game, the Jets have been such an unstoppable force, scoring 40 on a defense that I thought was pretty good coming into this offseason. But oh my goodness, he's just breaking tackles. Like I said, I thought this offense was pretty good, but I mean, this defense was pretty good coming into the offseason. But you know, they've been a little bit lackluster, kind of like the Steelers as well. You know, with their 1-5 start, they're just letting up way too many points. So I hope both teams can kind of rise to the occasion and the defensive standard. And but it looks like Drake May couldn't get it done. So 49-42 gives their 2nd and 5 record for the Patriots. And that's honestly a big loss against the Jets. I mean, the Jets are a great offense, but the defense isn't really that impressive. So I'm surprised to see such pressure. I mean, they don't really have that many great pass rushers. So I was expecting a little bit more protection out of that O-line, and they didn't get it. So nonetheless, though, we're going to see the Cowboys versus the Bengals now, and Avils immediately getting started with a deep reception, getting them past midfield, and so does Drango, getting a reception and this run going all the way to the end zone. So they are cooking with grease, man. I don't know what Drango has been thinking, but he has been cooking. I mean, look at this shit. He just breaking tackles, you know, being a menace to society, man. I don't know what's happening, but nonetheless, 4th and goal for Jaden Daniels. Throws a pick, and he's been really weak in the red zone. I mean, Jaden Daniels has been such a great person at quarterback in this, I would say, you know, regular fieldage. But as soon as you get to that red zone, it's been kind of eerie. And Drango's been good everywhere, obviously, but the O-line is terrible in the red zone as well, so that doesn't really help Drango's case. And nice ball from Jaden Daniels hitting Avils, but I believe Avils was out of bounds, so they're going to give him illegal touching, which they do. And Drango runs the ball again, going all the way out of bounds. I'm going to go all the way to the sideline and just torching this defense. I mean, I've never seen a running back just carry a team just like this. I mean, look at this. I mean, great blocks as well, right? But the level of production that he gets every single time he touches the ball, it's almost like, why do we pass? You know what I mean? And if we do pass, let's pass it to him. But the only concerning thing after Avils gets a touchdown and ends up getting the win for the Cowboys, as you see, the Cowboys coach is very happy about it. But the only thing concerning, I would say, is that we've seen a lot of injury-prone things from Drango, and I'm worried if it's just overuse or if it's maybe something that has to do with his body, where it's, you know, he's taking a lot more damage than you really would hope from a running back. So something to look out for, right? You know, as especially at the running back position, there's a lot of injuries going on. So for sure, something to watch out for, as he's had a lot of injuries already, and it's only 7 weeks into the season. But then again, his volume has been very great. So we're going to see if he can continue to battle that. But as I've been saying, this Green Bay has been putting up a perfection at run game. I mean, look at Braden Walters giving up, pushing that corner 10 yards, 15 yards back, elevating to the safety. He's been such a great blocker and not really as aggressive in the pass game as I would like it. But a great win, 35-13 against the Colts, led by Lenoris, which did give the Steelers problems, as you know. But I will say though, I didn't expect Braden Walters to be as lackluster as he's been. I mean, he's had some big highlight plays, don't get me wrong, but I would love to see a little bit more production from him. I would love to see him in the pass game, and that has to do with the coach though. Huge interception by Stephen, intercepted Mahomes is crazy, and he's had a great defensive rookie season as well. Probably one of the best defensive rookies in the class, if not the best. 21-0 for the Chiefs. But before I get into this game though, I mean, finishing my thought, Walters, I think he should be way more integrated into this offense, and I think that it has to do with the coach. I mean, you can only do so much as a player. You can get open, you can head top people, you can moss everything, but if you're not getting put into the right positions where you really shine, then it's kind of hard to be that overwhelming force on the offensive side of the ball. So I would hope to see that the quarterback and coach kind of get together and try to get a way to get Braden Walters back to the status of being a huge threat in the deep threat aspect of the game, and even the short game as well, because he was great talent in the RPO as well. But as you see, Anthony Richardson pulls off a huge win against the Chiefs, looking like that's probably the best performance on offense they've had in a long time, and it's very impressive to see Darnell and everybody else, Roman Wilson and Anthony Richardson, really just linking up in the red zone, which has been one of our strong suits. I mean, obviously having a 6'7" tight end is pretty helpful in the red zone. But it's early out in this game though. I mean, 17-0, essentially at halftime. Not something you want to see, but Xavier Worthy takes the top off the defense, so that's a little bit of help for this team. Durango running out of bounds, getting this first down, and Brian Thomas head topping people. Everybody, I mean, this offense is probably one of the fastest and the most explosive offenses in the league. I mean, at any moment that could happen to you. 0-17, and all of a sudden it's 21-20, and we're just still laying on the pressure. So 21-20, huge comeback win for the Cowboys. I mean, defense did a great job letting no points in the second half, and offense just lighting up the defense. I mean, you can't really say much more than that. I mean, the Cowboys offense is such an explosive threat, and you see it. I mean, that was disgusting. But early in this game against the Bears, Caleb Williams is doing some weird stuff, just trying to run the ball, making people miss. And second and goal, he ends up throwing his RPO, making it 7-0. Drake May is going to try to respond here, hitting Westbrook wide open, hitting him past midfield, and Booty getting him just closer. And obviously the favorite Ben Becker getting another first down. And now they end up tying the game up. So I think this game is going to rely on the defense, though. I mean, also last week they had a lot of problems on defense. So if they can stop Caleb Williams in this offense, it's going to be a huge help. But, seeing DeAndre Swift breaking tackles like that and going all the way to the end zone, it's not something that you want to see out of a defense. But what a catch out of Westbrook, man. What a catch out of Westbrook. And it's kind of a crazy throw to Gibson, but he ends up drawing a flag, so that's kind of insane. A drive saver. And now, all of a sudden, 14-14 after the flag, this game is all but anybody's. And DeAndre Swift has looked so good in this Bears offense, and it's looking like it tonight. Huge throw from Williams on that contested throw. 2nd and 4, ends up hitting Rome Odunze, I believe. And as I was just talking about DeAndre Swift, he looks like he's getting injured, and so was Marcus Silvers. or I believe that was Marcus Silvers. I'm not sure. But Drake May, 3rd and 10. Ben Becker finally takes his top off the defense, giving their 21-21 tie-up. And Caleb Williams, rolling right, hits the wide open man in the middle on the dig route. And so as you know, time is dwindling down in this first half, Caleb Williams ends it off with a touchdown, and Trayvon Henderson has the same idea because he takes off. Absolutely insane run, ending up 28-28. But just the time couldn't have gone any better for the Bears, because the Bears had just enough time to get down, get a field goal before the half. So now the Patriots opened up their first drive of the half, end up throwing a pick. Now it's 41-35, and a huge pass to a, I would say, contested type of coverage for Westbrook, but an insane throw from Drake May, and he hits Becker 42-41. Defense gets a stop, and Becker again showing his presence, making his presence felt as the rookie. But the Bears answer 49-49, and with time expiring in the fourth, Becker puts the team on his back essentially with the third touchdown of the game, and sealing their fate, ending up winning against the Bears. So now, you know, the Patriots are in a good spot here. You know, before they were, you know, seeing some big difficulties, and we didn't know if they were gonna really go for a playoff, you know, run. But beating the Bears is a good team, and to beat them in such a high-scoring shootout, the only thing that I would be afraid of is that defense, like I said before. But the offense is looking great, and I would definitely be excited if I was a Patriots fan. But we're going to get into the next game, and early on, the Steelers with the Panthers, they didn't really have an explosive start because they kind of turned the ball over back and forth, and it's still 0-0 as we go into the second quarter. And the defense finally locks in, and Nick Imawari actually gets an interception, getting us down to the 20-yard line as he jumps his route perfectly. And Anthony Richardson gets a nice goal. I almost said goal. Saying it's FIFA. He gets a nice pass to Darnell in, I guess, the goal line, and Darnell makes another huge catch over somebody, and that puts us in perfect position to score. But we should have just taken the field goal, and we didn't. But nonetheless, we get a sack fumble, but then we throw the interception right back. So we are literally just playing hot potato with this ball right now. Another fumble gets out, but they actually fall on it this time. And 24 seconds left. Rico Dowdle trying to do something, didn't really do anything. So to start the next drive out, Anthony Richardson ends up fumbling, and then we run this wildcat, and we actually do get the first. So then we hit Norton, continuing our drive here, but then again we stall. So, you know, a team that's been such a great offense in the red zone, this game has been terrible. I mean, we've been very inconsistent and inefficient in the red zone, which is something that's not characteristic for this team. And Anthony Richardson is just throwing caution to the wind and just trying to throw something here, but he ends up getting pissed off apparently because he forces a fumble, getting his possession back. He's just like, hey man, if I'm gonna throw a pick, I'm gonna get it back. But I think he ended up kind of injuring his shoulder or something, because he did come out after that hit, and that's the reason why we ended up stalling. And then Deshaun Watson is still the quarterback for us right now, and he just throws it terribly to the safety. So not looking good for the defense, but the defense does do their job and hold. Oh no, they do not. I thought he was gonna get that tackle. Calvin Austin goes for 6. So now it's a tied game with 2:40 left to play. Darnell on a huge RPO gets a nice gain and another interception. I don't know why Deshaun Watson thought he had the arm strength to fit in between those two people, but our run defense comes in big, and now we have 3rd and long, and Bryce Young smokes the pass. So now we pretty much have a go-ahead win drive here, essentially, and the PI definitely helps us out because we get this PI, run this RPO to Jaylen Warren, and our last defensive stop makes us win this game 10-13. So, you know, even though the Panthers were 0-9, we still get the win. I don't like how close the game was, essentially, but nonetheless, I mean, a win is a win, you know what I mean? So We get the win on the stat column. A huge catch from Ben Becker in this game already, which is insane. I haven't even got done with my, I haven't even transitioned yet. But anyway, yep. So big win for the Steelers, and honestly, I'm very excited to see what they could do if they're possibly going to make a playoff run. But to get into the Patriots game, huge catch from Ben Becker and a forced fumble turned into a touchdown from Spillane. And this game is 14-0 before it has even started. I mean, they haven't even hit the second quarter yet, and defense is playing on all cylinders. And they get it looked like it'd be a stop, but I guess they counted that as a first down, and that drive ends up being in a touchdown. So now they're gonna hit Ben Becker on this left sideline looking fade, but didn't really work out. Drake May couldn't fit it in between. Defense does a great job of stopping that offense. They end up punting the ball, and Trayvon Henderson gets a nice run. So now we're looking pretty good in the red zone, getting the touchdown to Morales, the tight end. And here we have, oh my goodness, we got Brock Bowers breaking tackles here, and didn't lead anywhere though. Still 21-7, and Drake May has a chance to really pull away from this game here. I mean, I know it's already 2 scores up, but it wouldn't hurt to have a even bigger lead for a potential cushion. I mean, that never hurts anybody. And Morales is wide open, so they give another freebie touchdown, getting it 28-7 on this team. They end up getting the ball at half, and Gibson's wide open, giving them a perfect chance to score once more. And it's looking like a blowout. I mean, the Patriots have looked really efficient this game. I think that was a little bit of a high ball, so Becker couldn't pull it in, but Gibson takes it in 4-6. The Raiders finally answer, getting 14 on the board, but I think it's too little too late. Even though they do get an interception, which looks promising because now it's 35-21. Now it's a 2-score game, but Morales has other plans. He does a double move, getting wide open, but oh my goodness, it's looking like a possible pick six unless Drake May tackles him, and he does. So 35-28 late in this game, and oh my goodness, what are we seeing? That might be the best play of the entire franchise up to this point. I mean, what am I watching? We're seeing Westbrook become DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, that's insane. So great win over the Raiders, even though the defense started to let up some, or not even the offense started to let up some points because they're just throwing picks and stuff. But what a catch from Westbrook. I mean, oh my goodness, he's just gonna go up there on 3 people and catch it. So very impressive win for the Patriots here. And now we're gonna have Buffalo against Green Bay, and Green Bay so far is looking kind of they're kind of struggling here. We got Darnell Mooney as the backup to Nick Harbor, and Trey Lance throws into double coverage here. I don't know why he threw that. Like, he knows that he doesn't have the arm strength. But Nick Harbor breaks the sideline, goes all the way up, gets a nice touchdown for him. 4th and inches here, hits a wide open Christian Watson, and Trey Lance looking for something here. I mean, 15 seconds left. I mean, you would have to have a prayer, and that's what he's throwing up. And Braden Walters, huge catch on that play there, and they end up getting 14-17. To 15. So now it's a 2-score game. It's a 2-point game, and even though the game is over, for some reason they started getting hype. I don't really know why, but they do end up losing to the Bills. Tough loss for Green Bay, and immediately Jaden Daniels is leading this charge. I mean, him and Drango have been huge pieces. I mean, everybody on this team is explosive on offense. I mean, it's kind of insane how much firepower they really have, but the Texans have a great defense, so it's a huge matchup because you have one of the best defenses versus possibly the best offense in the league. I mean, maybe not statistically wise, but when Drango can do stuff like that, and then you have 3 receivers that can take the top off your defense, it's really not something that is easy to stop. So Jaden Daniels in this offense goes up 28-13. And like I said, look at Xavier Worthy making it real hard for other teams to do something. And Brian Thomas head-topping people. You have the backup tight end doing crazy stuff. And, you have to deal with Drango in the goal line. not something that is easy for any defense. And honestly, the Cowboys offense looking ferocious, and they were tonight. I mean, 49-20 was a insane game for them, and pretty easy win, honestly. Pretty convincing one as well. So here we got the Patriots versus the Broncos now, and the Broncos have been a pretty upper echelon defense. I wouldn't say top 5, but more in the top 7 ish echelon of defenses, and they do end up going 7-0 on the Broncos, and the Broncos are really trying to get this pass game going, and Jordan Addison gets cracked there, but RJ Harvey gets the first down and more. Bo Nix trying to scramble for some extra yards, and he gets cracked, which is insane, but nonetheless he still throws a perfect pass to Amarius Mims, and he gets the touchdown, making this tied up 7-7. Drake May cautionally slides and nearly got the first down, but they end up getting tackled for just behind the line there, and Drake May tries to throw a dot on the sideline for a speed out, couldn't get it, and Bo Nix ends up fumbling. So all of a sudden, I mean, this is a really close game, and all of a sudden, even though it's still close, now Broncos are down now because of that turnover there. But the Broncos offense is looking very efficient this drive, but then they end up stalling, so that's pretty interesting there. And a wide open Trayvon Henderson kind of gallops his way to the end zone. They end up getting an interception as well. And now we have Drake May doing some insanity plays. I mean, rolling right, throwing left, right above the linebacker, ends up getting the touchdown. And that's pretty much sealing the game here. I mean, a huge spin move from RJ Harvey, looking like Michael Vick with that spin move. And he gets one of the biggest highlight plays of the season so far. But, I mean, still 28-14 with 3 minutes left. It could happen, but with Drake May throwing lasers like that, I don't expect it to. And that fumble kind of, seals the idea of a comeback. I mean, that was pretty aggressive from the defense. 2 minutes left. And, yep, it's looking like a slaughter here. And Bo Nix nearly throws an interception. And he does with this interception. That pretty much seals their fate. I mean, 35-14. They put up a great effort, honestly. And I was kind of confused why they went on 4th down on their own goal line, but making this 35-20. And what a throw from Drake May, still able to get that ball out, and Ben Becker head tops for one more time, and it is all over for the Broncos there. Broncos put up a great fight though. The Patriots, when Drake May actually is playing on all cylinders, is one of the better teams. It's just the limiter of Drake May playing at a high level or playing at a mediocre one, and that's usually what holds this team back besides the defense, obviously. Anthony Richardson throwing lasers already, but then he throws a laser right to the defense, and they end up scoring. So now it's 14-0 before the second quarter can even begin. But John Mechie makes a nice play, nice run after catch, getting 20 yards, and Anthony Richardson hits his big boy in the end zone for the touchdown. So now we have 14-7, but Saquon makes 2 people miss, and he goes all the way to the crib. And already Darnell is making his presence known. I mean, head topping linebackers like that is insane. And Jalen Warren goes in, so 21-14. And I really noticed that Sauce Gardner and these corners have played very great in the run game. And as I'm saying this dude, Peyton Wilson, goes for a pick 6, which is insane. But our DBs this season have probably played better than our linebackers. I mean, Stephen honestly has been obviously the cornerstone of this defense. But besides Stephen, I mean, I'm not going to say anything about Peyton Wilson or Cine or any of the other backers. But, I mean, our corners have played absolutely great. I mean, they're getting off receiver blocks. They're filling gaps insanely good. I mean, they're for sure a reason why look at that Imawari. Like, they're for sure a reason why our defense is so stout. Even though we end up giving up a lot of yards for some reason, we do clutch up on those 4th and 3rd and longs and stuff. And it's probably the reason why we're actually starting to come back a little bit, because, as you remember, we were 1-5 and now we're 4-5, and we're going back and forth with one of the best teams in the league. And Cine, as I was just talking about him, gets an interception, and our rookie wide open for Taj Rivers goes for the touchdown, another big run for Saquon, and a nice throw from Jalen Hurts pretty much gets that touchdown, tying the game. And 4th and 6, couldn't get anything. We get intercepted, and it looks like it's all but over for our team. I mean, yep, it is. So 52 to 42, but still very impressive for our team to perform at such a high level with such a great team as their opponents. And I'm really excited for the Steelers as well. But that's going to be the end of this one. And in the next episode, I'm going to try to finish the entire rest of the regular season so that we can end up having the playoffs as its own video. And then we can move on to the college one. So stay tuned for episode 4. And thanks for watching.